I might get a lot of likes or a lot of dislikes on this review. So, yeah, let's talk about Shazam. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is directed by David F. Sandberg and it stars Zachary Levi, Asher Angel, Jack Dylan Grazer, Rachel Zegler, Lucy Liu, Helen Mirren. I mean, it's got everybody in this movie. I mean, I can list everybody off of this film, but that's going to take up most of my time here. So, but you guys get the point, right? And the premise of this movie is when Billy Batson and his foster siblings, who transform into superheroes by saying Shazam, are forced to get back into action and fight the Daughters of Atlas. The Shazam family must stop them from using a weapon that could destroy the world. Along the way, they had to make peace with the gods because Billy took their powers for granted. So for context, I didn't really like the trailers for Shazam, Fury of the Gods. The past two trailers that came out didn't really catch my interest, so I was a bit underwhelmed. So I was coming in this movie with low expectations, and surprisingly, it's really solid. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm a DC shill, or I love comic book movies. No, I actually really enjoyed this film. This is more of a family film, Yeah, sure, it may not be everyone's taste or genre, but you gotta understand, even the first Shazam movie was a family flick. So going to this, no surprise, this was a family film. Now, granted, this movie does have some repetitive steps that came from the first movie, but the main core and the heart of this movie is the family. The family dynamic works so well. The kids who play like, the younger versions and then become gods when they say the word Shazam, and it's just that whole interaction. It's so delightful. It's very sweet. I mean, you can't get mad at these kids. They're just funny. They have a great banter together. It works fine. Even the mom and dad, they were awesome. I enjoyed that. I will say my favorite family member here is Jack Dylan Grazer, who plays Freddie Freeman. I really enjoyed his comedic chops in this film. He's actually really funny, and I think he really carries a lot of the heart and soul into this film as well. Of course, we got some newcomers with Rachel Zegler, Helen Mirren, and Lucy Liu, which are always a delight to see. I mean, they were fantastic as villains, too, and pretty dark as well, especially in the first act, from what they've shown and how powerful they could really be. So props to the villain for being terrifying, and my god, David F. Sandberg, you son of a gun, you need to go back and make more horror films, which I know he said on Twitter, but he has definitely a good eye for some horror scenes that still tone it down to a PG rating that still gets into my head a lot. Now, let's talk about Zachary Levi as Shazam. Listen, I loved him in the first movie a lot. I mean, he does portray Billy Batson pretty good in the first film. I mean, you get that dynamic of him being an older version of Billy, so there is some childish likes that you do enjoy. For some reason in this second film, I felt like Asher Angel, who plays young Billy, I mean, he's soon to be like a teenager, he's about to be 18 years old, he's a bit more mature. But for some reason, Zachary Levi's Shazam still feels a bit too childish at times. I mean, we see Billy trying to mature up, but then Zachary Levi portraying Billy still feels like, hey, I'm 13, I'm shooting lasers off my fingers, making quips and dips, and I didn't really like the banter between those two. It's just that mature shift didn't really match for me for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe if Zachary Levi just toned it down just a bit, I would have bought into more of Billy Batson being Shazam. You get like the same characteristics. You're still talking to that same character that you see transform into a god. But that was definitely a major gripe on my end. I mean, it didn't really distract my viewing experience throughout the whole film, but it's just something that I really caught on, and I think a lot of people did too. Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you guys, the third act of this movie, or let's just say the last 10 minutes of the film, really threw me off. I think it made my movie score very low just from that scene alone in the third act. And I don't want to say spoilers because this is not a spoiler review. I'd rather you guys just look it up or watch it for yourself. But at the same time, it just felt very forced. It was very out of place. There were stakes for a moment, and then it just felt like it was being brushed off. At the same time, it is a family film, and it can't make you feel depressed in a way. I mean, you gotta make the kids happy in some aspects too. So I see why they did what they had to do with the third act, because a particular character does appear, which again, the marketing for this movie is insane because they released a big spoiler on the TV spots, and you could probably pick up the pieces yourselves too if you haven't seen the movie, but it definitely ruined my viewing experience a lot. Now, even the post-credit scenes did throw me off too. I wasn't a big fan of them personally. I mean, they were fun, don't get me wrong, but I think with all the controversy with DC being resetted, with James Gunn and Peter Safran on board, it looked like there was a lot of false promises that we're not going to get in the future unless they really want to carry this franchise going forward. But I don't really think so due to the box office right now for Shazam. It's not looking too good, but again, it still wasn't a bad movie. I still had a great time watching it. If you're a fan of the first, I can't even say the word right now. If you're a fan of the first Shazam movie, you're going to enjoy Fury of the Gods for sure. It's not like Oscar-worthy comic book of movie of the year, but it's still an enjoyable time at the movie theaters. Look, all in all, I'm giving this movie a 3.5 out of 5. I still had a good time with it. It's still a great time at the movie theaters. And again, if you love Shazam, if you love being with these characters, if you love the family too, within the first movie, you're going to enjoy them in this movie as well. It's kind of a shame that a lot of people are bashing this film, considering that it may not tie into the bigger DC universe going forward. But again, you got to go into these movies knowing that you're here for a story. We shouldn't have to watch a movie just because it's going to lead up to something else. I mean, you got to enjoy the story. You got to enjoy the characters, you know, just because it doesn't set up something else in the future that may not connect to, I don't know, Batman or Aquaman or something like that should not ruin your viewing experience. A movie is a movie. It's start to finish. Shouldn't have to be anything else, you know? I mean, that's what we have TV shows for, right? But I want to hear from you guys. Did you guys enjoy Shazam: Fury of the Gods? Leave a comment down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let's have a discussion. And of course, leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel for more movie reviews, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Shazam!